Hello, and welcome to today's Spybot Scheduler tip clip. Today's quick webinar is on Spybot Scheduler and how it can help you meet some of your auditing needs. My name is Pat Cameron, and I'll be your presenter today. So if you have any industry or government regulations that you need to comply with in your IT department, Spybot can help you meet them easily and automatically. Let's take a look at how. First of all, I'd like to do just kind of a quick overview of Spybot's architecture. Spybot Scheduler is installed on an enterprise server, and that can be either an AIX, a Windows, or a Linux server. And we install a database and then an HTTP server, so you can access Spybot using your browser. Once your enterprise server is installed, you'll install an agent on each of the servers that you want to monitor and schedule in your network. This communication allows all of the servers to communicate with one another, and the enterprise server knows the status of all the jobs on your server. So it's really easy to set up dependent jobs on one server that will trigger a job on another. The schedule for all the agents is located on a central database server, so you can maintain, monitor, and view the schedule for all the agents from one display. Let's talk a little bit about security and auditing. Spybot offers role-based security. So it's really easy to set up roles for the different job functions within your business and then add users to those roles. So you can be very specific in the agents that someone can access, for instance, or maybe only certain jobs people can access. You can also set up change authority for certain jobs, execute for others, view, and exclude. So you can, again, lots of flexibility in how you can set up that security, and it can be based on different roles within your departments or divisions. We need to support any of the requirements that you have for security. And then auditing. We log every change to our database. So every time a job runs, we'll log that. Every time a job is changed, we log the record that was changed and the fields that were changed within that job. And then you can report on that information as well. So we're going to keep track of every change made to any of the objects within our database. We've also included reporting with Spybot Scheduler so that you can run an audit history report. So when those auditors come, it's not going to take you days and days to pull that information together. You'll already have it on Spybot, and you can run some reports. So audit history reports, job history, did job fail or did it complete successfully? And then agent event history. Agent events are those events such as a new file arriving, a directory changing, a process starting or ending that we can track in Spybot Scheduler. I'm going to go ahead and go online and show you a couple of things within Spybot. We're going to create a new role on one of our little test servers, and we're going to create a help desk role. We're going to add a user to that role, and I'll show you how we can restrict what that user can do. We'll take a look at the audit history, and then we'll run a report. So I'm going to bring up Spybot. It'll take a second for my screen to switch over. This is our dashboard, and this is my initial view that I've got set up for Spybot, and this shows me how my job automation is going. One thing I did want to show you on this screen is here we're also tracked in our dashboard the number of object changes that have occurred in the last 7 days. So, you know, once you get Spybot up and running, there should not be a lot of changes. So you can kind of use this as a quick view to see what type of objects are being changed, and then you can drill into the details to take a look at who's making those changes, when, and what exactly did they change. So what I'm going to go into, here's our administration menu, and I'm going to take a look at the roles that we've got set up on our Spybot server. On our Spybot server, we've got a number of different roles set up. The operator, when we ship Spybot, we ship an administrator. Of course, the administrator can do it all. An operator, and a user type of a role. Now, we've added some other types as we're doing our testing and demos for customers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a role for the help desk for our session today. And I'm going to do that by copying one of the roles that I've already got out there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this user role. We try to make maintenance and changes as easy as possible in Spybot. So we've got a lot of copy options throughout the product. So this is going to be my help desk role. And I'll change this description. And I'm going to add a user that I have set up out there. And this is my help desk staff user. So I could add multiple users certainly to this role. Now the way this role is set up, as you can see, the help desk can't change a lot of options within Spybot, but they have view access. So they can take a look at the different options, the schedules, etc., but they can't make any changes. Here they're excluded from our cron import center. They're excluded from changing any system settings, and they're excluded from security users and roles. If we look at the secured actions and the areas where you can create new objects, they have use authority to all of the reports that we've got within Spybot, but they are excluded from creating new objects and new environments. What I am going to allow them to do is I'm going to let them use our lock or unlock job queues so they can kind of manage the system. If one of the job queues gets backed up, they're going to have the ability to unlock it. Or if we want to stop everything, again, we're going to let them go ahead and lock those queues. I will let them create forecast models. So if they want to see what schedule to run, maybe over the next 3, 5, 7 days, we're going to let them do that. And I'll also let them create some job flow diagrams. Again, if they're doing some troubleshooting, they might want to see the jobs that are dependent on other jobs or other events, so we'll let them create some diagrams for that. Down within the secured areas, you can see that they've got view access, again, to most of the objects that are down there. For jobs, we're going to let them execute jobs. They can't make any changes to the jobs. They can't change the schedule. But if someone needs a job run out of its normal schedule, we're going to let the help desk do that. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And now I've got my help desk user out there, and I've got my help desk user enrolled in that role. So I'm going to create a job for the help desk to manage. And I've got a credit card job out there. And what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to copy this job, and I'm going to just change the name so that it's for our audit webinar. And I'm going to change the time on this guy from running every day at 6 to running every day at 8. Go ahead and make that change. So what I've done is I've created a new job, and I've also changed the time on that new job. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to log out because I'm logged in as myself. And I'm going to log in as the help desk user. And this is the initial screen for a new user. We've got some getting started information up here. What's the status of the system? You can hide this screen, and you can bring up the dashboard from here as well. So a couple things that the first time you sign on that you can do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to that job that we created. And here's my audit job, and I've got our job schedule filtered using one of my tags. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try and edit this job, and you can see here when I open it up, this is set to view only. So when I'm logged in as the help desk, I can only see what the schedule is. This job runs every day at 8. I can view the command that it's running. So again, I've got view only access to this job, so I cannot make any changes to it. But what I can do is I can go ahead and run it. So by doing that, I just right-click on the job, go ahead and say run that job now. And I will go ahead and let that job run. The other thing I'm going to do so that I've got some history to show you is now I'm going to cancel it. So I can look at the history. We can see now that this job is running on one of my servers. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cancel this job. So I can end it, and I can give it a completion code of completed, canceled, or failed. And I'm going to go ahead and fail this job. So now I've logged in as the help desk, and again, as you can see, I've got limited access to the jobs that are on my system. Again, I can open them up and view them. Also, for my scheduling options, I can look at our agent environments that we've got out there, and if I open up my Spybot user, again, I've got view-only access to those options, so I can't make any changes. But again, for troubleshooting, you're going to want to be able to take a look at those different objects. So if I go to server history, just going to show you some of the things that we track here within Spybot. Here's my audit webinar job that I created. And we can see here that this was submitted to this agent by user help desk staff, and this was the run number. So we're going to track that it was submitted by this user at that time, and we're also going to track that this help desk staff went ahead and canceled that job on this date and time. So we're going to keep good track of who is running jobs on my system. And then the other thing that we're going to track within our audit history is who's creating and changing objects. We can see here that I created a new job, and if I look at the detail of that, this is the date and time. This is the new job that I created, my audit webinar job, and these are all of the options that that job had. Again, they were pulled from the job that I copied. This is the user that I changed. I added them to the help desk role. Here's the update. Originally, the help desk staff was a user, and now it's a help desk. So again, every change that's made to our database, every job that's run, the date and time, and whether it ends normally or not. Then the last thing that I want to show you is our audit history report. So I'm going to run this report for today. Any of the reports that we have within Spybot are created as PDFs. We'll go ahead and submit that job, and it will take just a second for it to pull that information together. So if you click on this refresh key, it makes it go a lot faster. So here's my audit history report. I'll go ahead and open that up. And that's going to show us from midnight this morning till now, 10:30. These are the changes that have occurred. Here's my job that was created and the type of record that it was, who did it, and all of the detail behind that record. Again, here's the command that was created. Here's my help desk user. The help desk staff, originally it was a user, changed from that value of user to a new value of help desk. So that is some of the security that's built into Spybot. And the roles that you can create and the auditing, your auditors are going to love it. So I'm going to go ahead and thank you for joining us today. I hope to see you next time. Thank you again.